Hello everyone, welcome to Chirag's SQL Server DBA tutorial. In this video, we'll learn installation of SQL Server 2022 on Windows Server 2022 with SQL Server Always On Availability Group. So, to begin with that, require the following servers. So, we have server 1, we require a server of configuration domain controller and Active Directory. Already we did that, and this is the first part of video. And second is the primary node of SQL Server Always On Availability Group. This is server 2 and server 3. Now we are going to install the SQL Server 2022 with the Windows Server 2022. So here is the server detail. So my first is ADServer detail. We did the configuration of Active Directory. Second server is the SQL node 1. There is a 162 IP is there, and third is SQL node 2 163 IP is there. So configuration of the domain controller Active Directory of SQL Server Always On Group. Each configure the domain controller of Active Directory and features. Add the virtual machines to the domain controller. This part is completed. This is a part 1 of the video. And second is the configuration failover cluster, storage controllers, query configurations for SQL Server Always On Availability Group. And there we did the Windows failover cluster configuration, ISKG, target the initiator configuration, file share witness configuration of the cluster quorum disk. Now we are going to install the SQL Server 2022 on Windows Server 2022 for the Always On Availability Group. Here we have we can download the SQL Server. I am using the developer edition. Download from the this is the link. Download it and copy to the virtual machines. We need in node 1 and node 2 we need to install. So this is my ADServer. Node 1 and node 2 is there. I am going to access the server. So here is the IPs. Node 1 IP is 192.168.61.162. So MSTSC for the remote. So I am accessing the ADServer first. Let me check the local resources if I am using any. Okay, connect. So here check this. I am just going to use the domain. So with the domain is Chirags. Previous video, you can follow the previous video for that regarding domain controllers. So able to log in. This is my ADServer. 162 is my node 1, SQL node 1. Same login I will do. One 63 is the SQL node 3. You can check there is a Chirag / ADadmin. So I am ADadmin. If you are not getting like this, then you can go to the user different account, and here you put your domain names, then username and password. So all the 3 servers are connected now. I already download the SQL Server Management Studio and SQL Server Software Developer Edition. So both the edition are in my C drive. You can go through the C drive. Both the files is there. I am removing and putting into my D drive. F drive. With the F drive, from the F drive I will just do the installation. Similarly, because C drive we don't have much space, okay. Now move to the F drive. I have a free space is 3.4 GB. So now I'm going to install this one. So the for installation purpose, SQL server, this one, right click on the SQL server, go to mount, right click on the setup, run as a administrator. Yes. Same thing I'll do with the second server. Right click on that, go to mount, right click on your setup, run as administrator. Okay, so this is the installation wizard. Click on installation, click on a new installation. I am using the developer edition, or you can go through the evolution also. That is for 180 days. So click on evolution, let it the evolution, go to the next, accept, next, next, next. Same thing I'll do with the second server. Go to installation, standalone installation, next. Okay, what are the features I want to install? So I want to install the database engine services, then there is a machine learning, I think. Okay, I'm selecting all, only I'm removing for the polybase query service external data. I don't need this one. Replication also I don't want. Integration services, leave it. And we don't have a space in C drive, so what I'll do, I'll go to my F drive. So I'll just change the path, F. So I'm putting my root directory, features directory, and features directory, all the files, all the directory files through the F drive. Click on next. Similar I'll do with the my second server. Select all. Replication I don't want, polybase don't want for now. Here also I have to check the drive. So drive F drive, we have a space. C drive we don't have a space. So here I'll change. Next. Okay, so now I am able to get the instance. So if you go through the default instance, then you will get the name like the MS SQL server. I'm changing the instance name. So inst1 instance 1. So automatically instance ID I will get the 1. Go to the next. Similarly I'll do the with second. Here also I'm giving the same name, inst1, or you can give the instance 2 also, name doesn't matter that much. So click on next. Just remember with the IP. Okay, now we are came to the server configuration. Here we need the account name, so we didn't created any account, Now I am going to create one account for that. So go to your domain controller server and dsa.msc. Open Active Directory domain controller. Here go to your domain, go to your users and create a new user. Right click on that and here new user. Here I am going to create the SQL ADUSER. Okay. So I have to keep the name SQL AD user. So I'm going to copy this name for the here I'm keeping the name SQL AD user. Here I have to put SQL AD user user. So the domain login is Chirags/SQL AD user. So use the complex password because this user is used for the all the accessing all the data. So here this is for the testing purpose, so I am not using any complex password. This is for the demo. Removing this one, password never expired. Click on next, click on finish. Okay. Now I am going to add this one, that user into administrator group. So go to the administrator, member of administrator, add SQL AD user. Let me check. Okay, not coming. Why so? Okay, so here not coming. I have to add into the node 1 and node 2. Let me check with the node 1 and node 2. So go to the node 1. Okay, users and groups, administrator, add SQL. Okay, let me copy and paste the name, check names. Yeah, available. Okay, so add this one, added. Now do the same thing with the node 2. 163 is there. This is node 2. Okay, okay, added to the both the node. Now come back to the your SQL server installation. Close this one. SQL server agent. Here I am adding that one. Browse, check names. Okay, yeah, coming. I need to the database engine also. Or copy or paste. and integration services. These three places I need now. Automatic, startup automatic, and here I am putting the password. Okay, click on next. Grant perform volume maintenance task, privilege to SQL Server database engine services. Click on OK. Click on next. Wait, I'm doing same thing with the second node. Go to the browse. Check names. Yeah. Okay. Startup type automatic. Admin @123. Admin @123. Whatever the password you have. This is for demo purpose, so I am keeping the simple password. Click on next. Come to the node 1. Yeah. So now this is coming for the server configuration. So I am taking the mix mode. Okay. Next. I am not changing any data directory and other things or any sizes for now, or I'll go back. Okay. So data directory specify the root directory of the path, and data directory and data log directory and backup directory. You have different drive is there, then you can change the path of that. Okay. TempDB is the crucial database in the SQL Server, responsible all the data is sorting, indexing, and DBCC check, database command console check, and this thing. So here I'll just change the configuration. Number of files I am going to keep 1, giving 8, then 64, then 1, it will multiply by this one and automatically it will come with the 64. Next is max DP. Max DP degree is the setting for the SQL Server. This control the number of cores parallel of SQL query execution. So there is a 4 is given. I am giving 1, and now go to the memory. This is a maximum memory default I am giving, and now next is for the installation. So I am just selected for the analysis services. So click add node, get the next. So ready to install. This is the configuration path. You will get all the errors. If you are getting, then it will show here. So click on install. Similarly I'll do with the second server. Next is there. Here I'm giving the password for SA user. Okay, I am changing the data directory. If you want, then tempdb I am giving the number of files 1, automatically it will calculate it. Tempdb 1, memory no need to change, file stream no need to change. Go to the next, add, next, and installation is started. So both the node 1 and node 2 installation is started. let it install. After this installation, we'll just install the SQL Server Management Studio. Then we'll create the database and we'll add the database to availability group. So this is the procedure, and we'll just complete this one and we'll test the failover cluster. This work is pending. Node 1 approx 50% installation is completed. Meanwhile, I am going to install in my Active Directory server, domain controller server. You can say both the server is same. Here I am going to install SQL Server Management Studio. How much space? 2 GB space is there. So let me manage and add the 10 GB drive is allocated to this server. 10 GB unallocated space is there. Right click on that. I'm creating one drive, E drive. Create the F drive. Next, finish. 161. I'm accessing the F drive. So I'm installing the SQL Server Management Studio in my domain controller server. File is copied to F drive. I'm going to install this one. Right click this one, run as administrator. SSMS full form is SQL Server Management Studio. Let me check node 1 is completed or node 2 is completed. So this is the path. I'm changing the path to my location where is the space. So that is the app drive, changing into app drive. Install. We are about to complete it in node 1. 162 is node 1. Let me check with the node 2. Yeah, approx 60% is completed. node 1 near about to complete. Just let me check with the node 2. Node 2 is near about, this one also in same process, same configure, last file configuration process. Installation of SQL Server Management Studio, we need to install in the both the nodes also. I'm just checking with the this one, domain controller server, DNS server. No space on the disk. Okay, I got problem with that. Okay, I'm going to cancel the process. If you are not able to install in the domain controller, that's not an issue. Okay, so in node 1 installation is completed, master data, everything. You should you always check that status should be in succeeded mode. So installation successful, click on OK. So I'm going to close this one. Now I'm going to install SQL Server Management Studio. Let me check with the space, how much space in C drive. I already stuck with that C drive. Here also we have a problem with the less space. Okay, so this is my domain controller server. We have a space, but we are unable to install the SQL Server Management Studio. Not a problem. I will install outside of the my server, and from here I will access that. So I'm just running this one. SQL Server Management Studio we use to access the database. So anywhere you will use, we can access the database as per. So we should install into the server, but with less, because of less space, I'm going to configure into my outside of the my servers. So this is node 2, 163 node 2. There also configuration is completed. SQL Server installation is completed. Now I'm closing that. I'm waiting for some time to install the SQL Server Management Studio. Then I will try to access with that. So before accessing, I'll do some changes in the SQL Server instance to enable the features of SQL Server always on availability group. So go to node 1 and open the SQL Server configuration manager. So there is a inside the SQL Server, there is a SQL Server configuration manager. So here click on the SQL Server services and right click on the instance name. There is a instance name SQL Server instance 1. Go to the properties and here you can check with the always on availability group. This is the my favorite cluster name SQL availability group CLU. Enable that and click on apply. Okay, so I have to restart the services. Why so? Okay, okay, start the services. Right click on your services and restart. So stopping services. Starting services. Okay, same thing I will do with the SQL Server Node 2. So here also close this. SQL Server Configuration Manager. Services. Right click on the instance, go to the properties, always on availability group. There is a checkbox, check on that, apply. Okay, okay. Now need to restart the services. Right click on the services and restart. Stopping services. Okay, now let me check with this one. So from my base server, I'll just try to access the both the nodes, and if you have a space in the both the nodes, then you just access through that. So let me check I am able to access or not. So I am using SQL Server Management Studio version 19.3, and that is a product of 2024 Microsoft. Do not import. Services started. Okay, so let me check the database is connected or not. Server name will be Chirags slash SQL node 1 authentication mode. I'm going to use sorry, SQL node 1 slash, sorry, okay, wait, SQL node 1 slash inst1 authentication mode. I'm using SA. Let me connect. So I'm going to connect both the server. So SQL node 2, there is a node 2, then 1 2 3. So both the nodes are connected. We don't have database now. We don't have any databases now. So all the process we have done. And SQL Server Management Studio, if you have a space, then install into the node 1 and node 2 for the testing purpose. And here I don't have a space, so I am adding to the server, adding to the my base server where the host is mine. So here I am going to use database, create database. So node 1 I am going to create the database. So right click here, new database. SQL DB CLU test. I'm creating the database. Click on OK. So database is created. Now I'm going to configure the availability group. So here we don't have availability group till now. So right click on that, add a new availability group wizard. Go to the next availability group name. So I'm giving the SQL availability group, and I'm giving the year 2022. So Windows Server failover cluster, no need to cluster type, and I'm going to create next. Here my database name is available there, so SQL DB cluster test. So just click full backup is required. Okay, let me get the full backup first. Right click on your database, task, backup. I'm taking the full backup. Full backup is completed. Now I right click the availability group, go to the new availability group, next SQL AG 2022, click on next, select, go to the next, So I have to add the replica server here because this is primary is instance 1 primary server. Click on add replica. Server 2 means node 2 I am adding here. Click connect. Both the servers are added. Click synchronize commit. Go to the endpoints. No need to change the endpoints. Backup preference हमेशा always preference the secondary. Listener, I want to create the listener. So creating the listener, we can easily connect with the listener. So here create listener. I'm giving the listener name. So I'm giving the name SQL LSN. This one availability group dash 2022. So this is my listener name. Just keep it safe. And I'm giving the port number 1496 for the listening. Static IP. I have to add one IP. So 192.168.61.164 is already used. 165 I'm giving for that. So okay. So this is my IP. So IP is 192.168.61.165. Now I'm going to next. Endpoint is one endpoint user automatic seeding. Okay, go to the next. All the validations are success. Go to the next and finish. Click on more details. So configuration login on the replica is success. Configuration endpoint is a success. Starting always on health, it will take some time. Why this agent is stop? So I started. Let me check here also. Starting the always on health checkup is always takes some time. So creating the login is success. Creating login on replica 2 is also success. Okay, this one is completed. Click on close. So there you can see there is a SQL AG primary is there. Here we can see the secondary. Okay, secondary is there. Database also replicated. Database is synchronized. Here also you can able to see synchronize. Now I am going to log in with listener. So click on here. My listener name is this one, comma 1496 is my port number. Okay, I am not able to access through the listener. Meanwhile, let me check with the 1496 server name is listener name is there. Here I am going to call Chirag slash admin. Okay, instance related establish SQL server in the instance not in the SQL server configure with allow. Let me check with the SQL. My username is SQL user. Listener is not allowing outside. Not a problem. You can test another way. Okay, not allowing to log in. So this cluster configuration is completed. This is my database. you can able to check. The secondary database is not accessible. The primary database we can access. And if I'm going to create a table, that will reflect this one also. And let me open the dashboard. So here you can see instance 1, instance 2, which one is primary, which one is secondary. Now just assume that in above one, this one is secondary and this one is primary. I am creating one table. So right click on table, create new table. User underscore id int username and where control s users table. So table is created. Now I am going to insert one data, edit, with the cluster we will just connect with the database. So here, because of a listener is not associated on my this one host server, so that's why I'm not able to access. If you install the SQL server management studio in your, these are the 3 servers, any one of this server, then you can able to access that. Just check with that. So here you can meanwhile, okay, this I'm putting Chirag in node 1. Okay, I'm inserted one data. This is not responding. Wait for few minutes. Okay, so you can able to see there is a Chirag in node 1. I'm closing this one. So primary server I can access, I can run the query also. So here you can see there is a Chirag in node 1. I'm inserted the data from the node 1. Now I'm going to test the failover cluster wizard, start failover wizard. So click add. So this is my secondary node, no data loss, secondary. Next, need to connect for the testing purpose. Next, finish. Success. So this is auto refresh on some time. Here you can check this one, node 1 is primary, node 2 is secondary. So this is refresh and node 2 goes down. Why? So wait a few minutes, it will come. Okay, so I am accessing through the node 1 only. If I'll access through the listener, then I will get to see both the nodes. So now I am going to open the dashboard from node 2. So here I just click the show dashboard. You can able to see the both the nodes, and now node 2 is primary. Here you can see node 2 is primary, and all the synchronized, no data loss, and everything is running. And now I can access the node 2. Here we can run, and we can check the data also. So previously node 1 is not accessible. Here I am able to access the node 2. One more thing, if I'll just down the node 2 or node 1, then automatically what will happen? Just node 1 is secondary. Here you can able to see there is no data loss, synchronized, automatic, everything is synchronized, availability is synchronized commit. So if you go and node 1, I'm going to down for the node 1 for the testing purpose only. Here I will right click on and stop. So stopping services. So see how it will behave. So there is a group state is healthy. It will say take some seconds. Let me check. Yeah, stop. Services stop now. See here. Yeah. So the critical warning one, everything if you click, then you will get the error also. Availability group is not failover clustering, node 2 is down, secondary node is down, and switch critical, and synchronization is this is synchronized but not synchronized, data loss, no data loss. So if I'll open on the connection again, start the connection again, so automatically it will add to the cluster. So started, let me refresh, let me start the agent also. Come here, wait for few minutes. So this is start synchronizing and synchronize, no data loss. So like this you can test the failover cluster. Primary goes to secondary, secondary goes to primary. If primary will down, then automatically this will come as a primary. So let me test which one, node 2 is primary. Here I am going to down this server. So both the way I am checking. Yes. Okay, this node goes down. Let me check. So node 1 is primary, sorry, node 2 is primary. So what will happen if primary goes down? So there is a error. Let me check. Okay, I am accessing through the this node, the secondary node. So that's why this is not accessible. I am going through the here. If I go through the this one primary node, means node 1, then automatically you will see the node 1 become a primary and node 2 become a secondary, and there is a critical warning. So this is the process. Let me start again and we will check. So in this video we have learned Install SQL Server 2022, SQL Server 2022, SQL Server always on availability group. So here we have checked the failover cluster, 3 server we need, ADServer and node 1 and node 2. So hope this will help. Thank you for watching.